Hi everyone, it's Paul Miller, Freetown Free Spill, and on my show, it's about positivity and diversity. It's based off of that, and with me today is Bonnie Davina May Ma.
Bonnie Divina Ma.
Yes, yes. How are you doing today?
Just so grateful. So grateful. It's a beautiful day here. The sun is shining. Uh, there's just for me a lot of positivity in the air. I don't know what's going on in the rest of the world, but I managed to create
Yes, ma'am.
a beautiful bubble most days that's filled with a lot of gratitude and joy.
And your background, you're a healer, you're a practitioner, shamanic practitioner, and many more things like visionary medicine.
Yeah, lots of things. Lots of things. What do you want to talk about? Which one
Oh,
do you want to talk
let's
about?
let's begin with healing.
Okay. Well, right before you and I officially got on this podcast, we were talking about that, and I was expressing to you that, I can't heal anybody, right? And you can't heal anybody.
Yes, ma'am.
All we can do is, as healers, is guide someone into that place where they can heal themselves. And for me, there's no place where that can happen and be more powerful than if we can just get into the place of what I call the now or the present moment. It's that timeless space. And when we're able, and it's we don't have our thoughts anymore, everything
Yeah.
is very quiet. And when we go to that place and we just do some conscious healing and we bring our awareness into that moment, it's very accelerated what happens because when you're in that space, your inner healer steps forward.
Yes, ma'am. That's
And
awesome.
so I just serve as a guide to get people into that place, and then the work just magically takes off and does its thing.
Like some of the stuff you've done, like with in the healing field, like how has that been? Like your last, like you've been doing it for a long time, working in the Amazon.
Yeah. So are you? Let's see. I wanna be sure of like what I'm understanding. I'm not sure if I'm quite. Can you repeat the question and
Like how has
maybe
your
be a little more
experience?
specific?
How has your experience been in working in the Amazon?
Okay. So when I've been in the jungle or in the sacred valley, the experience in places like that, it's like a cosmic vortex. So it's like you go into this place that is very different from any world you've ever experienced, and or at least I have, and most people. So these are cosmic vortexes. There are places for accelerated healing and accelerated evolution. That's why all the visionary medicines are there. That's why there's so many of the shamans there. uh the indigenous people who've been like holding it down for thousands and thousands of years now coming forth and sharing their knowledge, their wisdom. So it's a super high vibe experience to be in a place like that. And as somebody who's been practicing with visionary medicines for quite a while now, to be able to connect into roots like that, uh, to see where this deep healing comes from, and these people that just live it every day, they're already healed. They've always been healed. They're just constantly working that process. It's just a natural part of their day and their state, ceremony and gratitude and creation and togetherness and community and medicine. So that shifts a perspective in many ways because you get to see like how people just are automatically healthy because of their values and how they live.
So how are these medicines helping? Like I wanna go to the Amazon. I wanna go to South America now.
Well, you know, when we speak of the medicines, we're generally talking about, if we're talking about that area of the world, we're generally talking about ayahuasca.
Yeah.
We're talking about San Pedro Huachuma. And I would say that that's most of the reason, like why a Westerner would go, would be to work with one of those medicines. Although it's certainly not limited to just a medicine experience,
Okay.
or with those two. There's hundreds of plant diets you can do in the Amazon that have nothing to do with like visionary medicine per se, but they will have profound impacts, in opening or clearing certain energies and things like that. So, the plants become the teachers. And in a place like the Amazon, you get to see and you get to learn how to listen to the plants, and you learn how to sit still and to receive and to download information and to get out of your mind and get out of your thoughts and to start purging all of this toxic crap that's built up because of whatever, your stuff, watching the news all the time,
Yeah.
living in fear, what anger, all of these things. So we can go there and work with these medicines essentially to detoxify not just our physical body, which the medicines will absolutely do that, but also they're going to detoxify the emotional body, and they're going to help to rewire the energy body.
Wow. It does a lot, like just the emotional and the energy body, like the emotions. I could see like me trying some medicine, I have more smile, like different facial expressions and like smiling and like expressing myself well, like not holding nothing in. And that's with blockages,
So
like
you feel when you've had that medicine experience, you felt very clear, like an open channel.
like not I haven't tried much medicine, just shrooms and cannabis. But I
Uh-huh.
heard I heard about ayahuasca and Pedro Santo. How you say
San
it?
Pedro,
San
also
Pe-
called Wachuma,
Yeah, I heard of those.
cactus.
Yeah, cactus
And
juice.
those would be like the major grandmother and grandfather medicines. They're not always known as those names, but generally speaking, especially through the more Western lens, they're generally grandmother ayahuasca and grandfather Wachuma. So there's healing to be done with both of those in different ways, and they're complementary.
That's amazing. And some of the services you do, that you would like to share for those that's listening, like some of the services.
Well, the a really super fun thing to do is to get on a Zoom session where we just basically do some shamanic journeying. It's a little bit like hypnotherapy. We do something more what would be like a bilocation, where we're still here, we're in our bodies, we're grounded into the earth. We can come back to this place very easily if we need to, yet we're also transporting uh, to another timeline. And we do that through the space again of the now. We get into the present moment, we shake down a bunch of stuff, and then we just allow ourselves to we travel into the subconscious. What comes up there is different every single time for every different person. It depends on our intention, where you're feeling things in your body, which timeline needs to be healed, like a past timeline, a current timeline, future timeline. So once we go into that space, we just allow it to happen, and we do healing. We heal wounds. We illuminate shadows. We transform old programs and we rewire them into more optimal programs that help us exist on a in a higher vibration, a higher frequency.
Yeah. I think shadow work is it like knowing your history, like illuminating like your history, like
When you
shadow
say
work.
history, do you mean like what's happened in your lifetime, this lifetime, or your
Yes,
family history, your
like
ancestral history?
lifetime.
Yeah. So shadow work can go way back. It's really timeless and it lives in our subconscious, and the subconscious doesn't work in this space-time continuum like we live in here in this three-dimensional world. So we end up going into this place where we can just become very still and very quiet, and we tap into this place of what we'll call like the higher self. It's the highest vibration. It can't be hurt. It's the ultimate alchemist and transformer. Then when we're allowing a shadow to be seen, we're illuminating it, we're shining our light on it, we're just taking a good look at it. Shadows are blind spots. They're things we don't like to hear about ourselves, right? But you
Yeah.
hear them and then you keep going like, no, I hate it when people say that about me. Well, that's a shadow. Oh, that's not me. That's a blind spot. If you're hearing these things all the time, there's probably some truth to it. Let's just not be afraid of it. Let's take a good look at it. Let's get to the root of it. Let's transform it. Let's fill it with light. And then we're automatically just now at this higher vibration.
That's awesome. You wanted to jump into talking about nutrition, like, cause like myself, like for
Yeah,
me,
so
like um I have a mental illness. It's called schizoaffective, and I also have like with that medication, it messes with my cholesterol and also like diabetes medicine.
wow. Okay. That's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first question I want to ask is, do you do you label yourself with these things, or do you feel that they are limiting for you?
They're not limiting. I think it's something that they diagnosed me with, but I still function good and I'm motivated and I have a
Mm-hmm.
strong mind. I still have a strong mind. Um,
Mm-hmm.
to also answer that, I would say uh, it doesn't limit me. Like, but
Great.
I try not to talk about it too much. But it is something that they said. But I think I'm still good. I'm still like a normal person.
Wonderful. So there's so much to be said about nutrition, and we have such a short amount of time. So what I want to say first is that ultimately we our bodies just will know what to eat when we get balanced, when we detox and shed some gunky stuff, not just physically but emotionally. Then we learn to start just feeling into the vibration of food. So it's like, oh, here's this amazing bright yellow happy banana, and it feels good, it has a good vibration, right? Or here's this bag of potato chips. It's in a plastic bag that is going to ultimately be toxic for generations to come. They're a lower vibration. They taste great, love them. Sometimes I've made the late night gas station
Yeah.
run to get a bag of chips. It happens like once a year probably. Uh, but it's a lower vibration food. It only makes you feel good in the moment. And then you generally feel worse. But there's foods that just have a high vibration. They're alive, and so you start to understand the difference, right? With vibration.
Yeah.
And so when we're taking in high vibration foods and we're not just shoving them in mindlessly, we're actually communing with them. We're thinking about all of the hands that had to go into bringing this food to us, the earthworms, the microbes, the sun, the rain. We're connecting into all of it, right? This
Yeah.
infinite web that happens to bring this food to your hands generally, even if it's grown in your backyard. We're talking an infinite, system in the soil and
Yeah.
the air and right, all the things. So it's massive, and we're taking this into our body, and it becomes us. So let's be in the mindful process of really slowing down and using that time to be quiet, to allow for this food to move through us. I've had this argument with my partner a few different times. I told him, I said, I can eat a Cheeto and get more prana, we'll say like energy, life force energy out of it, than a piece of broccoli. If the piece of broccoli is limp and it's sad looking, and I just mindlessly shove it down my face and go on with my day, versus taking the Cheeto, looking at the Cheeto, loving the Cheeto,
Yes, ma'am.
thinking about the hands that, made this Cheeto, all the people, everything, the truck, this Cheeto, and then take it in my mouth and slowly absorbing, slowly harnessing the whatever the energy, the good energy I can from that food, and I do it mindfully.
Yeah.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah, cause like even like with meat, like if it's like who made it, did they was they violent to the cow before, or like it's a spiritual attachment to it? So like what you putting in your body, like what happened to, like it's just thinking about that, being thoughtful, praying over your food. It's an energetic experience.
You are transforming, you are elevating it, you are bringing it into a higher vibration, right? And
Yeah,
so there's intent, there's even science behind that now. It is magic, but now we have some science to show us, that it's true. It actually does happen. We do alchemize and transform things with our awareness and our attention.
yeah, the whole cycle. Like even if a chicken, like a chicken is under stress, you might, and you eat that chicken, like, and you might have stress after that because the chicken was under stress.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is why, the First Nations people would do all of this ritual and ceremony, right? Every time they killed a buffalo or a deer, and they realized they were taking in the energy of that animal. So they did so much to honor the animal and say thank you, and they used every part of the animal, and it became this beautiful exchange of honoring. So you know those foods are available. They're expensive, but it's an investment, you know and so doing things like where you can go to the local farm, and they've had the cows out there pasturing all year, and they felt, the cows are just like feeding off the grass, and they're breathing the clean air, and they're happy. And then they're killed, with as much love as they can be, right? So all of these things make a difference. So it's available. You just gotta
Yeah,
search it out, and it's an investment in a better world as well, because definitely that's what we need to get back to. If we're eating all of the sick cows and the sick chickens, you're absolutely right. We're gonna have sick bodies.
healthy everything, especially for the planet.
Sick planet, sick bodies. You
Yeah.
know, we're in mutual exchange with everything all the time.
So like with sound, words, like vibration, like with sound, like how is sound so important?
Well, there's different frequencies again, right? So we've talked about frequencies, how there's lower vibrational frequencies and there's higher vibrational frequencies. So sound is the same, and there's different frequencies that we can create with our voice, with sound bowls,
Yeah.
beautiful guitars, so many different things. And we know when we're on that frequency where just everything just starts to align and we feel really good, right? So, and then it's like there's this energetic exchange happening with the energy
Yeah.
centers in the body, and everything sort of starts like getting tuned. It isn't interesting. We call it getting tuned because it is. These sound vibrations are fine tuning. They're tuning us, and so sound is medicine, and your voice is medicine. For you, it's your best. Some of your best medicine is your own voice.
Yeah. You could tell someone's health with their voice. Like you can tell like their health just hearing their voice.
Mm, if they're open here, yeah, they're able to, you feel like their voice is open and flows and
Yeah.
has like these qualities that kind of bring you into a higher place.
Balanced communication. Like the communication is like up to par and like it's not like stuttering or like barely not talking about nothing. It's just intellectual sometimes.
Yeah, and allowing for silence, or those moments where we can kind of slow down in that space and take a breath, you know. And I appreciate with that with you. You have a nice flow in the way that you express and also listen. It's very easy, and so I appreciate that.
Yes,
You,
ma'am.
you you take time to just let things sink in a little bit, and your answers are very thoughtful. Your questions are very thoughtful. So you're really good at listening.
We it was definitely like a we was deep in conversation because like it's an emotional connection. Like I can sense that. Like I'm good with seeing like energy and reading energy. Like it's like I learned that in massage school,
Mhm.
like with auras and chakras. Like it's
Mhm.
definitely some good communication. Like
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing we can do every day is we can just do some humming.
okay,
Yeah, I know you're a singer and you're making music, so you have a lot always exchanging in your voice. And but for everybody, to do like some singing and some humming, some things that make your body feel really good every day. That's just like really good natural free medicine for yourself.
yeah. You have any examples of like some singing activation that you do? Like some examples of like some of the tunes that you hum?
Yeah. Yeah, well, one thing that we would do if we were on a Zoom session together or in person is we would do a lot of like drumming and shaking and doing a lot of sounds like ha and really long exhales where we do big sighs like ha. We give it that extra and we're doing it with intention, right? So as we're moving our voice with intention, just magic starts to happen. Things just start falling away. Everything just starts to get shaken off. So that's like number one practice I recommend for everyone every day, other than also maybe starting off your day with some humming,
Okay.
or if you're feeling anxious, hum to yourself. Otherwise, like if you can get in a few like really like big like huhs,
Yeah.
and really like shake and intentionally do some stuff, that's like super detoxifying.
Yeah, I can see that because like when it's almost like laughing, like you let go of some stuff, some stress, some stuff that's blocking you in your body. Like you open up your body, your arms, your joints, and
Yeah,
your heart
yeah,
space.
very important. Yeah, open up those joints a lot, especially
Dancing
your
is another one.
ankles. Keep everything flowing. Yeah, all an important part of it. Breathing, also when we're doing the vocalizations, now we're doing more breathing, and
Yeah,
that's
that's a great.
so yeah, probably that's a good way to, maybe close as a for all of the things that we're talking about is just the beautiful, place where we come into our breath. And so we can even just practice together now, just like, open it, just kind of open and expand and open your lungs and just taking a little bit bigger breath than you normally would, right? Now you're consciously like, and slowly just filling up and allowing everything to just kind of float, so you're almost more expansive, right? And the breath is easy. You're not trying to like force it. You're not trying to, just get all this air in and, no, we want it to be really effortless. Yeah,
Yeah.
so when we hold that breath and we exhale, we might even make it sound like ah, ah,
Uh,
ah, right? It's medicine. You
yeah.
feel better, right? Does
Yeah.
it feel different now?
Yeah, it opened my chest too. Like my whole rib cage.
Yes. Yeah, just expanded those lungs out a little bit.
Even my upper body. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
some
it's
links
good
you would like to
medicine.
leave. Some links you would like to leave with the listeners. Like
Yeah, just my website. Pop in. It's www.awakenascend.com. Go
yes,
check it out. There's tons of great information on there.
I want to thank the listeners for tuning in, and it was great having you on the show, Bonnie. And it was amazing talk. And
Yes.
for more, you can find on my show like on Anchor.fm, and it's also on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And it's great having you on the show. I appreciate it.
Wonderful, Paul. You're doing amazing.
Thank you.